Everybody come see us on tour. We'll be in Columbus, Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Lexington, Kentucky, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. The latest crazy thing that they're doing now, Kamala Harris, is that, you know, they can't run on anything that they've done for anybody, right? Because the Democrats, remember when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris ran for president against Donald Trump, they promised us a public option. And what is the public option? The public option is not Medicare for all, but it gives you the ability to buy into Medicare for all instead of buying from Blue Cross, who's just going to deny you when you're at your worst, right? So you could buy into Medicare, and then enough people would buy into Medicare, and pretty soon it would become Medicare for all, because nobody's going to buy from fucking Blue Cross if they can buy into Medicare. And so that's why they won't let you do that. So they ran on Medicare for all, they ran on the minimum wage, and after they got elected, they never talked about either of those two things ever again. It never got brought up by AOC or the Squad or even Bernie Sanders, cuck to power that he is, has never brought up any of that shit. And so all they have left to run on is that Donald Trump is some kind of an existential threat. Even though everybody loved him for 50 fucking years in the establishment, he was on every late night talk show, on the cover of every magazine. He got his balls washed on The View. Stephen Colbert said thank you for running. He loved him. Everybody loved him everywhere. And they gave him his own network television show for 10 years. That Hollywood gave him Emmy nominations. Oprah said she hoped he ran for president and that she would run with him. So all they have left now is to call him Hitler, or say, now the latest thing this week is that they're saying that his generals said that, well, here, I'll play it for you. This is what they're saying.
He said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had.
Really? He wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had? Because I don't know if you know, you mean he wanted generals that were constantly plotting to try to blow him up? Because that's what Hitler had. So here we go, little feedback. Hold on, here we go.
He said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had. Donald Trump said that because he does not want a military that is loyal to the United States Constitution. He wants a military that is loyal to him.
Well, it's weird that he wants a military that's loyal to him, because I don't know if you know how the Constitution works, because the military is supposed to be loyal to the President of the United States. It's called civil control of the military. That's what it's called, civilian control. And that's why we don't have a military control of the military. We have civilian control of the military, and they're supposed to listen to him. And it turns out, by the way, this whole story came from a noted liar, Jeffrey Goldberg. Remember, he said, this lie, Trump said Americans who died in war are losers and suckers. Jeffrey Goldberg in The Atlantic. Completely made up. That was already debunked. And who wrote this one? I need the kind of generals that Hitler had. Jeffrey Goldberg. It's again totally fucking made up. And it's by the same piece of shit who was, by the way, an IDF soldier. That's who Jeffrey Goldberg
was?
Yeah, you don't know that?
No.
I can't believe a Goldberg's an IDF soldier. That's crazy.
No, I wouldn't, because it's a very like Brooklyn sounding like kind of pussy name. It's not like an Israeli tough guy name. It's not.
So
it's not like a Netanyahu.
Great actor. What happened to him?
all I'm saying is I don't know if Trump admires Hitler's generals, but I have been to Dollar General, and I know they're lying because everything there is not a dollar. Anyway, so that I just want to get that out of the way. This is another one of those completely made up stories. Like Trump said, there's great people on both sides, and he said that about Nazis and white supremacy. He didn't say this is the same. He said you should put bleach to fight. He didn't say that. All this stuff. If Trump is so horrible, why do you have to make stuff up to make people hate him? Why do you have to make it up? Which this is made up, and it was made up by Jeffrey Goldberg. By the way, The Atlantic is owned by, who's it owned by?
Widow Jobs.
It's Steve Jobs' ex-wife.
Best friend of Ghislaine Maxwell.
Best friend of Ghislaine Maxwell.
I mean, these people aren't friends with anyone, but they were close.
That's right. So just remember This is what NBC News had to say. A network of just keep in mind that we have civilian control of the military for a reason. So a network of public interest groups and lawmakers nervous about former President Trump's potential return to power is quietly devising plans to foil any effort on his part to pressure the U.S. military to carry out his political agenda, the agenda that people fucking voted for. Guess who's unconstitutional? NBC and the goddamn fucking public. Anyway, I sound like Joe Biden. I get so upset. Fucking garbage! Garbage people!
You see General Miley next to him?
Yeah,
General Miley's the one who's like, I'd like to get to the bottom of male rage.
I'm going to show you General Miley in a second. I have a video of General. But anyway, by the way, when they say public interest group, you know that it's never in the public interest, right? I just want to remind you of this. So when Trump was president, remember that time when Trump wanted to pull out of Syria? You know, like he ran on being an anti-interventionist and he wanted to pull the troops out of Syria, and his own generals lied to him about the number of troops stationed in Syria so that would make Trump think that a withdrawal was happening. Now, that's not just a tweet. I'm going to show you know who else says that? This is from Defense One. The top Syrian envoy admitted that they lied to Trump about how many troops. That's unconstitutional. That's subverting democracy. That's called fucking treason, ladies and gentlemen. That's treason, not what Donald Trump is asking his generals to do.
Make treason a capital punishment again. Seriously, we got to do that, dude.
Mattis, remember, so Mattis, he resigned after a clash with Trump over troop withdrawals from Syria. And so Trump wanted to withdraw the troops. Mattis didn't want to. They lied to Trump about how many troops Trump found out, and then he made him resign. So you had to quit over this. So the exact opposite of what the media is telling you. How can you read this and not go, wait a minute, why would you be telling the military not to follow the orders of the civilian commander-in-chief? Why isn't that? So they don't anyway. So
are we Pakistan now?
No shit, right? That's what it feels like.
We're not even Brazil.
That's what it feels like. So here I want to show you this just to remind people. This they're having these press conferences, and this guy here he's coming in from Syria. And he's taking questions from the media at the State Department briefing. Watch this. Here we go.
How many U.S. troops are there in Iraq and Syria right now?
Now, the official number was 500. That's what they were saying. That's what they were telling Trump and the media, how many troops they had in Syria. They said, oh, just 500, just enough to secure the oil. But the real number was somewhere around 4,000 or 5,000. And so this guy slips up and he actually tells the truth. That's called a gaffe in Washington when you accidentally tell the truth. So watch what happens. He asks him, how many troops do you...
How many U.S. troops are there in Iraq and Syria right now?
We have approximately 55,000 Syrian, or 5,000, I'm sorry, I think it's a little over 4,000 U.S. troops in Syria right now that are supporting efforts against Daesh and supporting the SDF.
So now the reporter actually knows the actual number. When he's going to say it back to him. Watch this.
So you have 4,000 U.S. troops in Syria, because I thought that previously the number was 1,000. This would be 4 times, well, it was actually 500, but you're saying 4,000 U.S. troops are currently in Syria?
I'm sorry, I misspoke there. There are approximately 500 troops in Syria.
Now, we all laughed in this room because we see how transparently full of shit that army guy is, but guess who else laughed? What?
Approximately 500 troops in Syria.
The whole press corps laughed right in that guy's fucking face.
Now say your own names. That's how I get out of it. That's how I kill that laugh.
In the army, you can be all you can be, but apparently you can't be a good liar in front of a room full of press people. That's the few, the proud, but not very proud of our math skills, apparently.
Yeah.
You know, he was like a teenager. You know, how many beers did he have? 55,005, that 4.
I love his delivery. He's the Stephen Wright of the Army.
Yeah. If people know who Stephen Wright is, that's very funny. So nobody cares about the media, about the military lying to the commander-in-chief, the civilian commander-in-chief of the military. Nobody lies about that. Nobody cares that they're lying. So basically, the Constitution has become a phone booth, right? We all have fond memories of it, but nobody really uses it anymore.
Some people use it.
What's that?
You know you're in a bad section of town when you see a payphone. That's
And nobody cares about this. Nobody cared that they all laughed at his face. Nobody has any umbrage left to give because Tony Hinchcliffe started World War III with Puerto Rico.
Yeah. After Steve Renazizi caused the war in Iraq. Wait, I just noticed this before. He has an earpiece. Do you ever have one of those things in your ear where they tell you what to say through it?
Yes, yeah.
It's hard.
It's not easy.
And I think that's why he sounds like Forrest Gump got promoted to lieutenant. Because if you didn't know how to use it, I know from experience on shows, it's not so easy to do. He looks exactly like a guy being told a different number.
That's right.
I think that's what that is.
And I think, when you're lying to the public, it's very important to try to blend in with the background.
constant camo.
And so Michael Schellenberger actually caught on to this, and he says, the media and Kamala Harris say they have evidence that Donald Trump admires Hitler and hates Latinos. They really don't, and the fact that they've made Hitler their closing argument isn't just desperate and shameful, but it's proof that the Democrats are now a totalitarian party. What do you mean that they're a totalitarian party? Well, he tells you right here, he goes, Democrats are the party of mass censorship, the weaponization of the CIA, the FBI, and the Department of Homeland Security, and the politicization of everything. What does that sound like to you? To me, that sounds like a totalitarian fucking party, and they're encouraging a police state, which is what we actually live in right now.
Fascism.
Fascism.
Well, you know what?
That's the irony, is that whatever they accuse Trump of, they're actually guilty of themselves. They're the ones who are subverting the Constitution. They're the ones who don't want civilian control of the military. They want the war machine control of the military. They're the ones weaponizing the intelligence community, the DHS, the CIA, the FBI, and they're politicizing every fucking thing, which is exactly what a dictator does and a fascist does. So thank you, Michael Schellenberger, for actually having the stones to point that out.
And you know, when Kamala Harris is elected president, she's going to censor this photo.
Yeah, wait, Jimmy, that photo, it looks like she could hear what you were just saying about her. You're right.
It was very interesting because, you know, she gave an interview where she's like, we don't have any active troops there. And then there was this funny video where active troops were
Yes.
going, then where are we right now?
Yeah.
Right?
Better have Obama shame him.
Yeah.
Everybody come see us on tour. We'll be in Columbus, Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Lexington, Kentucky, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.